You boys ready?
Yep.
An intro?
Hit it.
We're in.
And we're in. Welcome.
They got him. So us knows.
They
been
got
following-
Diddy.
They got Diddy.
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
diddler.
Yeah.
They got his ass.
The question is, did he or didn't he?
No, he pleads
he-
not guilty.
But I think he did.
I think
I
the
think he did
feds.
too.
I think the feds picked him up.
Yeah, no, I think that's the deal.
The question to me isn't whether he's innocent or guilty. I believe he's probably done some not so good things. To me, the question is how deep are these veins? Is there an Epstein, New York connection,
Probably.
or is he a solo dolo? R. Kelly, demon creep?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because like you read all the, I'm fucking not an attorney, what do I know? But you read all the things, and like a lot of times they'll sound crazy, although they may or may not be, right? Like clearly R. Kelly was a demon piece of shit, but like it'll talk about like if you read the laws he broke,
Yeah.
it sounds like he's the same as Epstein, right? But he wasn't exactly. He's definitely a demon and did terrible things, but he wasn't running like an international deal here, you know?
Yeah.
Where Diddy,
He was pissing locally and not.
yeah, very locally. Yeah, he had like women locked in closets in
Yeah.
Atlanta and Chicago.
Yeah,
Where Diddy, I don't know, because of the New York connections, and he's just been so tied into like politics and celebrities for so long, like 4 decades.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. And R. Kelly was obviously very famous too, but the jokes on R. Kelly came out in like the late 90s.
Yeah.
The Diddy jokes have not necessarily.
Although I think there was always an undercurrent of it, though, or
Yeah,
not
maybe.
always, but especially in the last like maybe 10 years or so, there are people who just like, oh no, not gonna go to that party, not gonna,
And people, I think even, I don't want to misquote to get sued, but I think people like LeBron talk about like going to those parties and then they know when it's like
Oh.
9 at night to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After a certain time.
Yeah, they'll be like, yeah, we'll go, and then the party starts at 9 and I head home or something. You're like, oh, what the fuck? Like, how is it so well known? And like, I don't know whose responsibility it is, like you're not Robin Hood. Like if you don't really know, do you just call the local cops and say, hey, there's a fucking...
There's something bad going
Yeah.
on over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless victims come forward, it's hard.
Right. If you're just a random guy that hears rumors,
Yeah.
what do you do? Even if you wanted to help.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really know. It is unfortunate how people with power, particularly men with power, but not exclusively,
No, it's men. They're pieces of shit.
will use it. I mean, obviously there are women who've done similar things.
Yeah.
But they're usually it's usually related to sex work.
Or they
That-
manipulate men to do things.
Yeah.
That's what women are good at.
Yeah. Without getting misogynistic, that does happen. for
Well, the
sure.
men, no, that's not even misogynistic. Like, women have the power over men.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
You don't think so?
I don't think it's universal. I think it's possible.
I think women have, like, men want to please women.
Are women often smarter than men? That's what I would go along with that in terms of being able to construct situations that benefit them.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just said it to, sound,
The
it's the
smarter
same
way.
thing. Yeah, it's the same thing, though. Yeah, manipulating a situation based on your femininity power in the universe.
Potentially. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been a thing.
It does happen. There's
Yeah, whether it's malicious or not, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that all women are criminals.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a misogynistic take at all. I think any straight man would be like, yeah, women have like a power. They have like an energy.
yeah.
That men want to please them. They want to take care of them. Like, that's just how it goes.
I'm watching Homicide: Life on the Street, which is a show that has not been available anywhere since the 90s, and it was based on a book. They did like 7 seasons of it. Not all of it was from the book. It was all kind of inspired by. None of this characters are really out of the book or whatever. It's just like Baltimore policing. And I'm watching the first season right now, and there was a character. There was a story arc that ran over like several episodes that kind of resolved finally, where this guy was had died of something. And I don't remember if he was poisoned or what, but they were investigating his death, and it ended up being that he was married to what they referred to as a black widow. Not that she was black, though she was, and that's not the point. The point is that she would marry guys, get insurance on them, and then kill them.
Sure.
And
This is not based on a true story.
it probably is, but it didn't specifically say that it was. There are certainly cases like this. This is essentially what Dorothea Puente did here in Sacramento. Although she wasn't marrying them, they were boarders in her boarding house, and she killed them for their
Hundreds.
Social Security check. A number. I don't know what the number is, but
I think it's northern downtown. You heard that story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just watched a documentary about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why are there so many creepy stuff in NorCal?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It's like a breeding ground
Yeah.
for like all these like national stories.
Yeah.
Like Zodiac, obviously.
Obviously.
Golden State.
Golden State, yeah.
The
Your buddy, the Golden State Killer.
yeah, goddamn. Yeah, I haven't watched any of those documentaries yet. I need to dive into one.
Yeah. I've only watched I'll Be Gone in the Dark, which is sort of about it, but it's more about the search for him.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of it's based on his like activities when he in the 80s when he's in the East Bay rather than,
Here in Sacramento.
Yeah, I met him when he was fucking. I didn't even meet him per se, but he's around.
Yeah.
I've told you that, right?
No.
Oh, really? The Golden State Killer?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so his kids were one grade above me and one grade below me.
Oh, and they went to the same.
Yeah, my mom taught him for 6 years. My dad coached the older daughter in basketball.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, all that.
What
Yeah,
the
my best
fuck?
friend went to school with him. Yeah, all that. But they and he was right next to me. He's been this close to me. Like, but I'm a kid. I'm in like sixth grade, so I didn't like meet him, but I know drastically
Who he was.
who he was 100%.
Holy
But
shit.
they what's the other one? Peterson, Lacey.
Yeah, Scott Peterson, that down in Modesto.
Yeah, I mean that's NorCal.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. I mean, I knew that name and I knew the story a little bit, but I didn't know how like national
I just
that
saw
was.
that one too.
Yeah, something new about it just came
Yeah,
out.
I think it was on Netflix.
Yeah, there's been more stuff about it. He had his conviction overturned or his sentence overturned. I think maybe his sentence was commuted. He's fighting to get a new trial right now.
Good luck.
And there's confounding evidence. It's a really shitty, confusing case. It's not straightforward at all.
Law is weird because you got to go by laws. Where like if you go by logic, like he's fucked.
Yeah,
Right? Because it's like 15 minutes. And I'm exaggerating. But it's like 15 minutes after she goes missing, he like makes phone calls that are like really weird.
Yeah,
And I think they're recorded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
His wife was pregnant. He was having an affair with somebody.
Yeah. But he like doesn't he call and he says weird things like, "Hey, this is so and so Peterson."
Yeah, I'm on my way home.
Yeah.
I'll be a little
Yeah,
late.
she's missing. And they're like, "What do you mean she's missing?" Like he's like, "Yeah, I haven't seen her in half an hour or something." Like, "Well, that's not missing."
No.
Like just the words he uses are
Yeah.
like so drastic for how fast it happens.
Yeah.
Because he obviously allegedly killed her.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what
he's
I mean?
been convicted of killing her. Whether it really happened that way,
He
we
did.
don't know.
He did for sure.
I don't know. I've heard like very strong cases kind of on both sides that really muddy the waters for me. I
Yeah.
can't really say. It's more likely that he did, but also there was a series of like break-in, kidnap, murder things
In the area.
in the area, yeah.
And yeah, people like serial rapists and killers are still like a thing that aren't talked about. Remember when we were in Austin? There's one, and I don't
Yeah.
think they've caught him. There's like a gay. I think he's a gay serial killer.
Jeez.
He's not gay. I think he goes to the
He
gay
goes after-
neighborhood,
yeah, goes
Oh.
after
the
gay
gay
people.
street, and
That's-
just kills gay people, or like throws them in the river or something.
I
There's
think it was-
something.
Yeah.
And it's like active right now, and you
It's
don't
like
hear
that
about
Al
it.
Pacino movie Cruising. That's what that was actually about. He went undercover to try to
Just kill gay people.
catch a guy that was killing gay people.
Yeah, it's just so weird.
And there's a lot of that happened in the 60s and 70s.
You just think it would be like on more news because that was like a year ago we went, or a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I think it's still a thing because I've heard other like people talk about it
Yeah.
and they haven't caught him
Yeah.
and no one's talked about it. I'm like, dude, that's weird. Creepy world.
Yeah. Anyway, back to homicide for a second. The final like blow to this woman was that she had married her like 7th husband, who was her nephew, and he is still calling her Aunt Calpurnia.
Oh.
And he's like, yeah, everybody knows that she marries him and she kills him. It's like, why did you marry her? He's like, it was inevitable. Like, and he's like, she keeps a book of pictures from the wedding and their the insurance policies and their death certificates. And so they actually go and they find this book, and then they're.
What's inevitable to marry your aunt?
I don't
That's a
know.
murderer.
I don't know. That's the thing. He did not seem like he was. He did not look like he had attended MIT. Is what I'm saying.
Oh. He's inbred.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the story is, but he did not have a. He did not seem to have a way to get out of the situation, and they're like, she's gonna kill you too, and he's like, yeah, I know. It's like, what? What? It's the kind of like apathy about life that you seldom see in a TV character.
Yeah, it's very Game of Thrones
Yeah.
or something.
So going back to your point, though, this is a fictional character, obviously, but they're interrogating her, and she is just trying to shut them down. She's like, I'm hungry. I need some food. I need you to get me some food. And they're like, oh, this is the part where we're questioning you. And she just kept like denying and denying and denying. And, finally they got her to admit to it. But
Yeah. Well, I mean,
just the manipulation,
Yeah.
the pure manipulation around that. That's sort of a worst case scenario, and it's fictional, but it's probably just fictionalized.
yeah, I don't know, because murder stuff gets a little weirder.
Yeah,
My comment was just in general.
In general, yeah,
if a
yeah.
beautiful woman comes up and we both are grabbing a taxi door, I'm gonna let
Yeah.
her take it. You
Yeah.
know? And she's like, "Well, give me that taxi." Okay, you can have the taxi, pretty lady.
Yeah.
I meant little things like that.
little chivalry.
Yeah, or whatever. There's the one cookie left at fucking Miss Fields, something. Yeah, because she's pretty and a lady, I'm gonna let her have the cookie.
There you go.
Or if it was a fat dude, I'll be like, "Fuck you, dude. You don't need that cookie."
Yeah.
Things of that
Yeah.
nature. But Mr. P. Diddy, that's what is to come out too. Maybe it is an Epstein because maybe he's into guys. 'Cause
I
that's
think
the
it's
rumor.
both.
Yeah, I mean,
Seems
obviously,
to be both.
obviously, there's physical assault with women
Yeah.
for sure reported. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's 12 convictions or whatever. 12 laws he broke.
12
Whatever. I can't think of the word.
allegations.
Yeah. No, because from the court.
Oh.
Because he's straight in court.
Charges.
Charges. Yeah, it's like 12 straight charges.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in there today talking.
Yeah. Did he have to enter a plea today? It was like a preliminary. Or
Yeah, I assume it was just a preliminary. I don't know because I think
Preliminary
I literally think they snagged his ass yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, I know he got arrested yesterday.
Yeah.
In like huge bail, supposedly. I
I'm
don't know.
sure. Because I think it was the FBI that literally grabbed
He's a
him.
giant flight risk. He's
Yeah.
way a lot of money.
Well, and he ran away the first time, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, they were searching his house in Miami, and they said his jet had left Miami like
gone.
earlier that day or something. No. Yeah, I mean he's probably close to a billionaire, I'd imagine. He's definitely got money, crazy
Yeah.
money, probably a bill. I mean he fucking half created the hip hop industry.
Yeah.
Man, insane world.
Yeah. That's I mean, it's scary, and I don't know. I think I talked about this last week, the week before. The people who don't have enough self-esteem to pull themselves out of what is clearly, go back like, oh, it's inevitable, like it's inevitable that someone's going to take advantage of me. It might as well be somebody who's rich. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
get it. Or
That is the power dynamic because, you'll build your career and you become famous and you will become rich. And that's what people talk about, whether you're on a spiritual level or not, or more of a literal level, like selling your soul, spiritual or not. Yeah. Are you going to do what it takes to hang out with Weinstein and become a star actor?
yeah.
Which a lot of people seemingly have done.
Yeah.
Music, arts. That's where kind of YouTube's cool, even though YouTube's starting to get that way too. You got to do weird shit that you don't want to do to be famous. You got to hang out with people you don't want to hang out with. You got to,
A lot of scandal.
Yeah. Fight drama, be fake, hang out, whatever, work your way up, and that's overlapping with fucking Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Doc Disrespect was like sponsored by the 49ers.
Oh, what happened with that?
I
He
mean,
had
he's
come on
back.
live stream, right?
Yeah, he's back.
Oh,
Yeah, he's back streaming.
what was it? YouTube? Came back to YouTube.
I think he's on YouTube unmonetized and he's blocked everywhere else.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Which is a weird thing too, if we want to get weird. Like, what's an action of a platform? I mean, this is highly relevant to like block you when you haven't done anything illegal.
Yeah, I don't know.
Illegal because it's off stream. He hasn't done anything on their terms of service, which is on stream, and now you're going to block them for behavior. And I would never defend, any kind of pedophilia,
Mhm.
but he didn't do. He hasn't been convicted. He hasn't been to court. No one's ever alleged anything.
Yeah, I think the issue is just how unequally they apply their rules.
Yeah, that's everywhere. They're fucked.
I mean, that's
Every platform. It's bad.
it's hard to get them to actually to apply their rules, equally across
Yeah. Each platform. on their own.
creators.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, people get blocked or whatever for nothing, and other motherfuckers are spewing craziness. And then, obviously the freedom of speech conversation, where, how, when.
Yeah,
That's the deeper one that I didn't even want to dive into. But just like, Dr. Disrespect technically didn't do anything illegal.
yeah,
Didn't do anything illegal on their terms of service, yet they demonetized him.
yeah,
Yeah, it's weird. I'm not saying he should get paid. Fuck him. For all I care, block his ass. I don't give a fuck.
yeah.
But
I think that they should either need to be in or out. That sort of middle ground. I don't know if it accomplishes anything, honestly.
yeah, I don't know either.
I mean, if
it ends his career in one sense, he's doing work for not getting paid.
well, I mean, he's free to get other sponsors if somebody wants to pay him.
Yeah, but chances are, if you're a sponsor and you're going to him and you know that he's demonetized on YouTube
Yeah.
and blocked on every other platform.
Well, that's probably the logic behind the demonetizing is that none of their none of their people in the it's in the ad auction or
Yeah.
whatever is gonna want to be associated with his content right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you ever come out of that. I don't know.
I don't know
Does
either.
Patreon have like a live stream feature?
I don't know.
I was gonna say I would.
Yeah,
I would-
go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, his fans are crazy. Twitter's crazy.
Yeah, they love him.
They love him. They're going nuts for him again. He says like one thing, like
They're like,
dances around a couple words and semantics. Now they love him again.
Jeez.
The internet's weird, man. Just
The
like
internet is weird.
the hive mentality and these everyone's a fucking idiot. Everyone's a fucking idiot. I talk about the 35-pound plates on here.
I don't think we've talked about it,
No.
but we've talked about it before, but not recently. I don't think.
So I did a mistake. I was bored and I go on Threads.
Okay.
Threads is my new. I actually dance pretty hard now from Threads to Twitter because mine are so drastically different. So it's a nice break. I go to Threads and I say, "Don't trust a gym with 35-pound plates." Clearly a meme.
Right.
And a bunch of people, for some reason, that don't follow me,
Jumped on your
go
ass.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I had time. And I literally told one of the motherfuckers, I said, "I got time today, buddy." And I start fucking going back and forth, right? And some dude's benching, like, whatever it is, 375.
Yeah.
And he has 35s on. And he posts that video. And he said, "They work pretty good for me." I said, "Great bench, man. Still could have thrown 10s on." Like, I know you benched 25 pounds before that. You
Yeah.
didn't jump from 315 to 375 if it's your max.
Yeah.
Right? Or 385 or whatever.
Yeah.
You took off the 25s and put on the 35s. Well, putting on 10s is more efficient. And I said, well, as a gym owner, it's just more efficient. And then someone comes in real, said, well, so efficient, like how much money did you save? So I did quick math. I was like, oh, we probably saved like $5,000 not buying 35-pound plates for the gym. I was like, that's a machine. That's a leg press,
Yeah.
which our members can use much more. And then like some CrossFitter comes in, said, well, come tell that to my deadlift class. They love 35s. And I said, and I was just being a dick at this point. I said, I'd love to. I said, I've done seminars for a decade. I would love to come to a deadlift seminar. And then she gets pissed. Well, that's not what I meant. But some guy was started going crazy at me. And I got in a fucking, probably the first chomp war I've gotten into in a decade. I'm going back and forth with this idiot, no profile.
Yeah,
You had the typical
of
story.
course, yeah.
No profile. Click on his, the beautiful thing about Threads is it's connected to your Instagram. So I can go check that. Profile pic, but private. And he, his last words were, well, I work in the fitness industry too. I have a business. I said, that's awesome, man. What kind of business do you have? And he said, well, I could give you my social security and you still wouldn't even, believe what I have to say, so I'm going to stay private. I'm like, all right, you don't have a business. You know, like, you just don't have a business. Like, how weird are these people? It's the typical joke of, like, you go on Twitter and say, I love pancakes, and every response is,
waffles.
yeah, what's the fuck's wrong with waffles?
Yeah.
Like, that's literally how these people think.
Yeah.
It's absolutely...
Everything's a dichotomy.
Holy fuck. And there's about 2 people, you know, from our community or from the fitness industry that commented joking. Like, yeah, wasting my time and, you know, whatever. And I'm like, holy fuck. Like, you people just are begging for something to be mad about in life. Like, that's how people wake up. Like, you're just begging for something to be mad at. And I'm not the positive guru guy, but if you go find problems, you can find anger. Like, it's so easy to find anger. It's so easy to find problems. It's so easy to pick out the negative in the world, you know. In a perfectly painted wall, it's easy to point out the dirt spot. Like, everyone can do that.
Yeah.
So why do it? Why point out the fucking dirty spot? Why get so mad at a 35-pound plate? Especially in those platforms that are known for, like, arguing about abortion and shit. Like, I at least understand. Like, that's a meaningful argument. I'm talking about 35-pound plates, you fucking idiots.
That would seem like a waste of time for people to
They were so mad.
engage about.
They were so mad. It was crazy. I deleted the post, and what I didn't know, I deleted the post because I was getting, you know, I'm like, oh my God, you guys are too serious, you know, and I deleted it. And I never really got riled up. I've been on the internet too long to get emotional. But I deleted the post, and what I didn't know is Threads only deletes that post. It doesn't delete the thread.
Oh, you got to delete the whole thing.
You know, I'd have to go one by one for every single response. But I'm going at these people, so I probably had like 20 replies. So I'm like, fuck now. And then the guy comes to me like, saw you deleted the main post coming around, huh? I'm like, no, idiot. I just wanted to shut you up. Like, I didn't want to. I want to hit the pause. I didn't want to talk to your dumb ass no more.
Had enough of you.
Yeah, literally. I just had enough of their negative bullshit. I'm like, holy cow. He's like, since you're gonna be a cheap business owner, I'm like, bro. Because I didn't buy 30.
I don't. There's literally no demand out there.
No, in the world
for 35-pound plates.
No one has because again, you're never gonna go from a 45. If you're jumping plates, you're jumping plates. No one's going 45, 45, 45, 35. Like the strength curve of how humans work doesn't go like that. So if anything, you're gonna go plate, quarter, and then if you want a smaller jump, it's literally time, every efficiency on the planet to just add a 10. It's so I don't even know why they were so mad, bro. And one guy's like, well, it's really good for deficit deadlifts. And I just didn't even want it. You know? I was like, yeah,
you can also stand on something.
You could buy 2 35-pound plates or you buy 1 mat.
Yeah.
Or at that point, use a quarter. A bigger deficit's better. Fuck you. You know?
Yeah.
Like, what arguments are we making out here? It's so bad. I'm sick of the internet. I'm done with it.
People just get so caught up in the way they think things should be.
Yeah.
You know, and like that.
Well, because they don't know any different. They've only gone to a commercial gym, and there's only been 35s.
Right.
Each rack has a perfect, you know, and they probably don't even lift. That's why, you know, I'm being the asshole checking their profiles. Like, clearly none of y'all lift. like, and not that's, you know, that's the justification, but it's just experience, man. Like, no, I really am done with the internet, I think. I don't know when I'm retiring, but I'm retiring from the internet eventually. Soon. I'm over it all. I really am.
Well, to change the subject, kind of, were you aware that obviously we know that powerlifting is not in the regular Olympics?
Yeah.
Were you aware that it's in the Paralympics?
I am aware it's in the Paralympics, and I'm aware that 2025 is its first year in the World Games, which is actually the first real stepping stone to the Olympics. Yeah, I knew the Paralympics. The Paralympics had it for maybe 20 years. No, maybe more.
A long time, at least 20 years.
Yeah, it's been jamming.
I was not aware.
Yeah.
Or maybe I did know, but I actually thought that they relied more on an international competition rather than that was not related. More like
because they have another one, like the Para Games or something. There's like the Para Games, and then there's also the Paralympics.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
I think even powerlifting is in yeah, like the Special Olympics.
Yeah,
That's separate,
it's
right?
in the Special Olympics.
They've had it for 20 years.
Yeah, for sure.
And the Paralympics are always right after the Olympics, so it's probably going on right now, right?
Yeah, it's been going on for the last week or so.
Because I think they always run it like the month after the regular Olympics.
Yeah, I was. I mean, I know Kyle's cousin.
Yeah, Bryce.
Bryce was working with the Paralympics people and was actually talking about
Yeah.
doing it.
You assume these motherfuckers are strong.
Yeah.
But
bench
not
more than
necessarily the Paralympics.
49 kg, just bench like 380.
With no
With no
leg
legs.
drive,
Yeah.
because their leg. That was one of his things. Was like you strap your legs to the bench.
Yeah, your hips. And the bench is slightly wider, but yeah, it's insane. 'Cause you're moving crazy weight.
It's very impressive. It does beg the question. Like, I'm not a powerlifting should be in the regular Olympics guy,
Yeah, I don't know.
but it does beg the question why it isn't. And I mean, I always think it comes down to the steroids question.
Yeah, that's what I used to think, and now I just don't know.
But
because like think about track and field, like they catch so many people.
yeah, I think that the maybe I don't know. We're not going to swipe away to actually ask this question, but I think it's just because there's only one organization.
That might be it. I do know like the Olympics used to have like crazy rules about like participation in local events.
Yeah.
Right? So like you would need a certain amount of countries from each continent to have local events that would lead to that. And I know there was an issue there in powerlifting because whatever like the IPF feeder in Africa, there wasn't enough competitions, I believe. So that was a portion, right? Because then now you're deleting 30%, 33% of the world. Like, so, but the weird shit is like, I'm like, what is like breakdance then? Like, has there been like solid breakdance competitions by the same federation worldwide? Like, no way, right?
No, and that woman from Australia,
Ray Gunn.
she's now
Is that a
ranked-
real name?
That's not her real name. That's a
B-boy name? B-girl name?
Yeah,
It's Ray Gunn, right?
From the zombies.
yeah, it's
from
it's
Zombies.
Raylene or something like that.
Yeah.
Is her?
But she
is her
goes by
real
Ray
name.
Gunn, right?
She goes by Ray Gunn.
Yeah.
yeah. She's number one.
No
she's
way.
yeah, she's top rated, and she's breakdancing like Elaine was dancing.
Was it official? Because I know there was allegations of them cheating to get there. That her husband was the lead director of talent.
She and her husband own the organization, the ballroom dancing organization in Australia, and they were the ones that ended up being the governing body
Yeah.
for
That shows.
break dancing in Australia.
Yeah, a little muddy.
Yeah, it's very muddy. It's
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And I heard they were going to take it out, but then I heard maybe because it's in LA, they're keeping it for the next one.
yeah, maybe
Yeah, there's a bunch of weird stuff. Baseball's coming back.
maybe she will not be number one. However,
Yeah, there's no
I
way.
don't
There's
know.
no way. Because she didn't win gold.
I don't know what she
No,
won.
there's no way. I'm pretty sure even
She-
the judges there laughed her off. I
She
think.
she won a lot of consternation. Like,
Yeah.
what is she doing?
Yeah, she won the
Like-
social media game for sure.
Like, what's happening right now? What am I watching?
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I heard there were some changes. Like, yeah, they've been rumored weightlifting and Greco wrestling on the way out. Yeah, I don't think we talked about it, but I think America's men medaled for the first time in fucking 50 years in weightlifting,
Yeah,
which is huge. Very long time. And historically, we've been okay. Like major history, like Tommy Konos, obviously a Sacramento local who's won multiple medals at the Olympics and World Games for weightlifting. A lot of the sports it is interesting because they've all grown so much. So like the Olympics doesn't always matter for a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like even weightlifting, like it does fucking matter, but like they have the World Games, and that matters a lot in weightlifting. You know, like basketball actually maybe you could argue the opposite. Like the NBA championships, obviously number one, but the Olympic is becoming more important because it's more competitive, which
Yeah.
is cool. Track and field, I think the Olympics have kind of stayed number one. Swimming, I assume, but they have like a world championship swimming too that a lot of them hold into a high regard. Soccer, it's backseat. Like no, they care, but they don't really care. You know, the World Cup matters way more. Even Copa America matters more to them, and that's kind of That's like I think partially killing the Olympics. How they cover it, the time changes that always fuck it up.
Yeah,
Adding weird sports like breakdancing, and I love dancing, and I think it should be added some way, but it's gotta be the right way. You know,
Does
not
that make sense?
Yeah, it can't be memed, right? Like the first year they throw it in there, it's memed. Adding skateboarding stuff, I think, is cool because like the X Games, I think they still run it, but it's definitely not what it used to be.
no,
And there's still huge talent everywhere. I did hear about esports being added. I don't know if that's actually
Into the
happening.
Olympics?
Well, because I think that the World Cup of esports was held in Dubai, similar in July, and it went crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, it went crazy. Views were crazy. They did like every sport. You know, they did like, or not every game. Like they had mobile games. Like they paid out
Oh,
over there.
shit.
And obviously the normal stuff, Call of Duty, whatever. Yeah, but they've been talking about taking out like weightlifting, Greco wrestling. It's like some of the keystones of. I don't think we talk about it on here either. The steroid Olympics.
Yeah, we've mentioned it a little bit. Yeah.
I think 2025. I'll be tuned in. I'll be tuned in. I think they're out trying to offer $1 million for any world record, Olympic world record broken.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That should be a lot, probably.
I don't know, because like I
That's
think
the
there's
whole point of it, right?
well, I think there's surveys of ex-Olympians, and it's like 40% admit to have taking something illegal,
Yeah, it's possible they just didn't get caught.
right? And that's only
Yeah.
40% that admit.
Yeah, yeah.
So now you probably double it. Those that are hiding in the closet, like who knows?
Yeah.
You know, and we've seen Icarus, and some people think that's propagandized, but I think Icarus is accurate. I believe Gregory. You know, some people think he's a liar, but I'm Team Gregory. I think they'd be cheating. I think we'd be cheating too, and we do. I mean, we have history of movies and resources that, you know, Balco was a thing.
Yeah.
Like
No,
that-
for sure.
right? And every sport you could name here, even this weekend in UFC, like Shevchenko, like she's obviously highly skilled, and that's still to me just like a layman conversation. Because if you say someone's on steroids, you're like, well, they're still good. Like, yeah, bitch, Barry Bonds is good. I know. Like,
Yeah.
that's not what I'm
Right,
talking about.
right.
But steroids don't make you worse.
Right. No. they don't.
And this Shevchenko chick probably would have won without him, but she looked a little saucy to me. Or at
Mm.
least history is sauce. Like delts don't normally look like that on, you know, like a 37-year-old woman. You know, it's possible. It's possible, but I don't know. So the steroid Olympics kind of interests me.
Yeah, no, I would pay attention to that just to see, you know,
Right?
what the comparison looks like. One time through, I don't know if I would watch it every 4 years, but you know,
Yeah, I think they're trying to do it every year, which probably
That's
would get a little
lot.
repetitive.
that's a whole lot.
But if they bring up, like, maybe if they change the games every year or the sports every year, yeah, I might watch it. I mean, I like sports, you know? And it's been a cool year for sports. NBA was good. Football's just starting. I didn't know Cleveland's fucking dominating baseball. Now I'm a baseball fan all of a sudden.
Yeah, this is a sore subject for me because my
Dan.
Giants have had a terrible year,
That's what Dano said.
and they have the opportunity to hire Stephen Vogt, who ended up managing Cleveland.
Yeah.
And, like, former A's catcher, one of the fucking coolest people in baseball, somebody with a just incredibly strong work ethic, high standards, blah, 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 blah.
Was it the organization's choice, I assume?
The organization's choice.
Because no one's choosing to move to Cleveland, sadly. It's a rare choice. I mean, it's the same with pro sports, right? Like, why can't Sacramento Kings get players? Well, because they'd rather live in Miami.
Yeah.
They'd rather play in Madison Square Garden. Like, I get it. And coaching's the same.
But we got D Rose.
Yeah, you want to play for the fucking Lakers? Or you want to play for fucking, you know? Milwaukee.
Yeah. Now,
True.
No
The-
one wants to live in fucking Wisconsin.
no. We've talked about the fact that the A's are supposed to play here for the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
That may be in doubt.
Even next year?
Yeah, it may be in doubt.
No way.
Here's the thing. Super agent Scott Boras is like campaigning against it actively because it's bad for the athletes because they're going to have turf all year round, and it gets hot in the summer here, and so it's going to be miserable to play on that turf. That's thing one.
Is that just because our stadium has turf?
It's going to have turf because it's going to be used every day through the baseball season
So
between
just
the
to
two teams.
maintain it well enough.
Yeah, there's no way to keep live turf
Yeah, clean
going
enough.
in that circumstance. So that's thing one. Thing two, they don't believe they're going to if by some miracle the A's make the playoffs, they don't think they can hold them here because it's not big enough.
Yeah.
They can't pack in enough
Yeah.
of a crowd.
That seems like a big what if, though, yeah?
I
mean,
don't
there's
know.
always a chance,
so
but-
and then there's another wrinkle that the city of Oakland sold their half of the stadium to the people who own the other half, which is the like African American Sports Association, something like that. I don't know the exact thing. That becomes final after the end of the season.
This year.
Yes, it is entirely possible that the A's could go back to them since they're not dealing with the city of Oakland anymore and strike up a deal to remain there.
Who does the real deal? The owner of the A's, Mr. Fisher.
Probably, yeah.
He's the one that says yes, no, maybe, signs off.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I don't know why you would. I mean, I've heard terrible things about that guy.
Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah, I've heard like nothing good ever.
Me too. And I think he's just trying to. I don't know what he's trying to do. To tell you the truth, I don't know.
No, I think he's just playing with his papa's money.
I mean, they talk about Major League, about how it's the Major League situation from the movie.
Yeah, that's Cleveland.
Yes, that's Cleveland. Back when they were the Indians. Yeah, where the owner was trying to run the team down so it could be sold.
Yeah, which doesn't really make a lot of
sold
sense.
And moved.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Because, I follow Carmichael Dave, a local sportscaster who I don't even think sportscasts anymore, huh? Carmichael Dave? You know Carmichael Dave?
Yeah, I know Carmichael Dave. I think he's with...
Is he still
I
on
think
the radio?
he just signed an extension.
Yeah. But I follow him on
3-year
Twitter.
extension or something like that.
And he's against them here because of John Fisher. He's that passionate about John Fisher being negative
I
to bring him
understand
here.
that. Yeah.
But, and again, like the business is so big, what the hell do I know? But, like, you're going to sell out tickets here. We were just talking about it the other day. Like, we really do have good fans.
Yeah, but the tickets are incredibly expensive.
Yeah, because it's limited seats. I mean, supply and demand, right? Like, but there's so many games, you could find your way in there eventually. And the hype will, in year 3, the hype will die down slightly. But it makes sense to me at least try it. And if they are transitioning, not knowing where to move, like you can't sell a fucking ticket in Oakland. No one gives a fuck. You have shit ownership, shit team, shit facility.
Yeah, the facility is bad. The ownership is terrible. And the team is bad because the ownership is terrible.
Right, yeah, it's all just,
I mean, the team will go on a run every once in a while and look like, world killers, and then they fall apart.
But, like, Sacramento's been loyal to the Kings even when they suck. Do they sell out every game when we suck? No, but they show up.
Yeah.
And then you have an ounce of winning the last 3 years, and the team goes absolutely berserk. Yeah. The fans go berserk when you're even close to 500.
I think it's weird, too, that even since the probably late 90s, early 2000s, how the Sacramento Kings end up in rap lyrics and stuff.
No, yeah. No, like, even Sacramento in general has like a weird culture to it. Because we are like San Francisco, but not. But like rap songs mention us. Cat Williams shouts us out huge in that random interview. There's always like random tidbits. But Sacramento online does get like Cleveland-style jokes where people rip on it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you never even really been here.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing that special about us, but we're not as bad as you think. You know what I mean? Like, it's more just like stereotypes. But Kings fans, like, our Kings Arena is solid. Our baseball stadium for AAA is solid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, because we just had the strength coach from the ports in town, and we were chatting with him. Like, the A's AAA stadium's close to my house in Vegas. And that is really nice. But it's like brand new.
Yeah,
it's the brand new neighborhood. When this just dropped, Rayleigh Field, it was fucking sick too.
Yeah.
Right now it's 25 years old. Like, of course it's gonna be whatever. But if they wanted to throw money, there's space over there.
Mm-hmm.
You half rip that thing down, rev it up. Like, I think the A's best chance to have real fans is Sacramento.
This is sort of an aside, but not entirely. I saw somebody online speculating that the city of Sacramento should annex the city of West Sacramento and make it like mega Sacramento.
There's kind of no reason not to.
The only thing is that it's in a different county.
Yeah.
You're just on the other side of the rivers.
Yeah, and you just call it West Sacramento like you call it East Sacramento.
Yeah.
And just make it a thing.
Yeah.
I
just
mean,
from a financial standpoint, it would be the thing to do.
Yeah, and events and shit. Because it really is. It's only technically like 3 blocks from the basketball stadium.
Yeah.
Like the river's in the way, but it is all really close. I just know now that, being a resident of Vegas, like, they don't accept teams. So, like, the A's go there, no one's going to care.
No one's going to care.
Like, they might sell tickets, but they sell tickets like they do now. Like, as a child, we would go to A's games because my dad was an Indians fan. So we'd go to A's games when they played the Indians. Like, that's what the A's are right now.
Yeah.
Or if you come to Sacramento, 40% of Sacramento's already A's fans? Right? Because you grow up and you're a Giants fan or an A's fan. And the Giants have been better lately, so obviously I skewed that a bit. But when I was a kid, it was probably 50-50.
Probably. It was
like the 90s?
Yeah.
It was probably 50-50.
And those hats still exist, the ones that are A's on one side and Giants on the other.
Yeah. And same with the Raiders, Niners.
You don't see that with the Yankees and Mets.
Never.
I don't think they have
or
a
the
combo hat.
Jets, Giants.
No.
Yeah, nothing like that. But like, yeah, NorCal, and because they're different divisions in
Yeah.
baseball, so you know it's a little bit easier to love that than football,
Mhm.
where it's a little bit divisions matter a little bit less. Yeah, I don't know. I think A's only chance to have like without totally rebranding, changing names, and doing everything, their only chance is Sacramento.
That's a good possibility.
Yeah, and so like I don't know why you wouldn't. And yeah, again, you know, the John Fisher guy, his parents started Gap, so he's just a fucking trust fund and a half.
Yeah.
He's just playing expensive fantasy baseball.
Trust fund, baby. You can trust
yeah.
me.
Yeah, so who knows what the fuck who knows what the fuck Gap's worth and what this kid's worth. I mean, he's not a kid. He's probably 50, but.
A lot.
Yeah, like he's just playing shits and gigs, you know? But yeah, I just don't really see a negative. Like all that stuff, I understand the playoffs and selling out, and the league has rules.
Yeah.
But aren't they expanding it anyways for regular season games? They're trying to add bleachers or something.
They are, but it's not much.
Of course, because
It's
we're
not-
only
it's not-
what?
I don't think they're adding more than 1,000.
Because we're only
seats.
what, like 14,000 to begin with or something.
Yeah.
It's small. And what's a regular stadium? 40, 30?
40-ish. Yeah.
I get it, but there's got to be ways. There's got to be other answers than like, let's stay in Oakland and never sell a ticket again.
Yeah. I mean, if he would sell the A's and the A's stayed in Oakland,
Yeah, I know.
it'd be better.
Even here, Vivek and them were looking at it.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, you get a group of Sacramento folks, you know, and that's been the issue with everything, though, is you just can't get a lot of them to commit, because that was the big Major League Soccer thing. I think there's some, like, Microsoft's VP has ties to Sacramento or somebody like that, and he was trying to buy the soccer team to make us Major League rather
Is
than
it Ballmer?
Maybe. I forgot the name.
Ballmer owns the Clippers.
Oh, does he?
Clippers.
I don't know.
I think it's
Possible. But he had some tie here. Yeah, I don't know. And obviously Vivek has more ties to the Bay, but he's a Sacramento guy now.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's such a big business. I don't have a clue of how many wrinkles and layers are in there, but it doesn't make much sense to stay in Oakland because literally nothing's there.
Yeah, I
like
would.
sports-wise, those arenas, both of them suck. Like sports are becoming such a spectacle. Like that UFC Sphere this weekend was absolutely insane. I don't know if you saw pictures and
I saw pictures.
videos.
Yeah, I didn't,
It was insane. Like being there live was probably insane.
Yeah.
Like, because even on my computer screen, it looks sick. You know, so I could only imagine what it was like there.
Yeah.
And that's what you need, right? We covered like the Lakers show probably last year before, about how they kind of invented sports entertainment.
Mm.
You know, in a lot of senses, and Vince McMahon to some extent, but it really though, like it's more than just the game now. And UFC's doing it, everyone's doing it. So if you just put out a mediocre team with a mediocre arena, mediocre hot dog in Oakland, you just can't keep up. You just can't keep up.
Another thing that came, I think, from Boris is and I think I may have mentioned this already, the thought that the Giants are probably going to be one of the two biggest financial juggernauts of baseball.
Sure.
Because they own all that land around the ballpark.
Yep.
And they're commercializing it. They're putting in housing and all sorts of stuff, and within the next 5 years they will be making as much money overall as probably the Yankees.
Yeah. It's all that stuff. Again, it is big business and very difficult because you're involving government with where you put arenas and shit.
Yeah.
But like some of it's just so brainless to me. Like, how are the 49ers not on that strip?
49ers blew it.
You know?
I think that they didn't want to be on that side for some reason, and they could never get a stadium initiative to replace Candlestick at Candlestick.
Yeah. And Candlestick was weird, right? Because it's kind of hard to get to, although it's better than where it is now. But like, you just put it on that strip with the Giants, and that, like, it's so, like, every other big sports town.
Yeah, I think that the Warriors move there was just brilliant. That was a stroke.
It's huge for the city, huge for the team. Like, it makes so, like, you drive into downtown Cleveland and you just see all the arenas around the same bridge. Like, it looks sick.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense because then all the bars know where to go. All the restaurants know where to go. Like, it's just, I'm no fucking engineer, but it seems like basic city planning.
Yeah.
Right? You have an entertainment
I would
district
agree with you.
next to your fucking sports district because that's where you have your concerts, your teams, and now you have, like, semi-healthy things to do for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just brainless. And that San Francisco, I haven't been there, but I've heard that. I mean, I have back in the day, but I've heard that area where the basketball and Chase Center, I've heard it's fucking sick now.
Yeah, it's supposed to be great.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the arena, but obviously been to the ballpark a bunch. And
Yeah, the ballpark's great considering how old it is now. Now it's probably fucking 25 years old.
it
Too.
is 25 years
Yeah.
old.
I think I
yeah.
went to the opening game there.
Oh, that's right. I think you mentioned that
Yeah.
before. Well, to shift gears, we're sort of talking about like how does the world outside look at powerlifting, and a thing that I came upon was this quiz at sportsfoundation.org, and it's basically a quiz about powerlifting. And some of it, they're gimmies. There's like no point in actually even asking the question, like, you know, which lifts are involved or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a number of that kind of
This
thing.
is powerlifting 101.
But there are some things that I did not know.
Test me.
So in which year was the IPF founded?
71, 67, or 82.
Correct. Yeah,
If I
which
had
one?
to guess, I would say 1971.
I believe you were wrong. I believe it's 67. But
I know it's not 82.
we're going to press this and we're going to find out. Oh, 71. You're right.
Boom.
You're right.
60s just feel a little bit old for powerlifting, and I know like the Ed Cones and people were there in the late 70s, early 80s, so I knew
Yeah.
82 was too new.
Okay.
I feel like you know what's an underrated show that
Hmm.
I'm sure they have some shit host doing now? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? When that first came out, I was glued. I was glued to that shit. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Slumdog Millionaire?
Yeah, love
That's
that
a
too.
fucking great
yeah.
movie.
You see Slumdog?
No.
You should see Slumdog.
You should see Slumdog. You'd
Really
love
good
it.
movie.
You
Like
would
an
love it.
actual,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everything, like the entertainment side and the movie and the story based on a true story. I think it's good. Slumdog, bro, banger.
Yeah,
Hella
defi-
awards in its day.
Yeah, it's it is a combination of Hollywood and Bollywood.
Oh.
You know Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
heard of it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was such a big show when I grew up.
Wants
Like
to
that
be a
was like
millionaire.
they did deals with McDonald's.
I
Like,
didn't really watch TV like that.
though it was crazy. And you were just probably a little young because
Yeah.
I was like a kid.
Yeah.
Like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire probably came out when I was in like 10 or something.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Okay, this is age categories, and I am not familiar beyond juniors. It's like, what's the youngest age category?
I would say there's a sub junior.
I feel like you could be right about that.
Yeah, I don't
youth.
think you think there's a youth.
I think so.
I don't know.
Sub junior
Yeah, sub junior's my guess.
is the
Yeah.
correct one.
Yeah.
This one's too easy. This one's stupid. This is a good example of a crazy meta view. Like, what does the acronym RAW stand for in powerlifting? Real athletic work, or response after weight, or none of the above. Obviously, it's none of the above.
Yeah, it's not even an acronym, is it?
No, it's not an acronym.
That's
It's
a trick
just-
question.
Yeah, it's totally a trick question. That's why it's a meta view from the outside, because
Yeah,
but in the
curveball.
inside,
It just means like raw, stripped. Like
Yeah.
nothing.
yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Who holds the all-time bench press record for a raw bench press?
In the modern day, it is Julius
It's
Maddox.
Julius Maddox.
Poor Eddie Cohn never owned it.
No, he never did. Scott Middleton did though,
yeah.
at one point.
Yeah, both. That's
Yeah.
why. That's where like I do get weird about. I feel like it's in every culture because now on my Instagram I'll get the Slam magazine or Complex will do interviews with like seniors in basketball,
Mm.
and they'll say like, "What's your favorite player? Who's the best team of all time? Who's winning the championship this year?" You know, just like
Mm.
fun. And like, who are you? I'm like, oh, I'm point guard from Virginia, class of 2025, whatever. And like their answers are like, you can just tell that they're not students of the game, although they're probably and they're insanely talented.
Mhm.
And then a couple of them are like pro players' kids who are a little more in tuned. But like that's something like with powerlifting we've talked about a long time, and it makes me sound like the old grouchy guy. But I think you really are doing yourself a disservice when you don't know like the history and the scope of the sport as is. And I've talked to Sebas and other lifters in our gym about like how the untested and tested groups are so radically separated now. Like they've never even heard of people besides like maybe Jamal and John Hack. You know, but there's so many strong lifters in both that you just learn more and be a better lifter and a better coach and a better part of the community when you know it all. You know,
so many of the top untested lifters started off as
Yeah.
top tested
all of
lifters.
them. Yeah,
too.
Jamal was in the USAPL when I met him. John Hack clearly, but
Yeah.
and people know Eddie Cohn, but that's the same as these kids. They all say like Michael Jordan, but they don't know. They're just
Yeah.
saying that because people say that, you know. Where Scott Mendelson had the all-time raw bench record and the all-time shirted bench record at the same time. Like, that's fucking nutty. You
Yeah.
know, like, that doesn't happen in any sport because it's not possible mostly. But that's like an F1 driver being the champ, and he hops over to NASCAR for shits and gigs when it's the champ.
Right.
Like, it's fucking sick and like really fucking hard. Like, that's being the best. That's McGregor having 2 belts. You know, but people don't want to, like, I don't know if they don't want to, but they just don't like tip the hat to the past. And they're like, well, they're not as strong as Julius Maddox. Like, bitch, they're way stronger than you.
Mhm.
You know, they're stronger than 99% of what's still going on.
Yeah.
I don't know who the second best active bench presser is right now, but Scott Mendelson's probably stronger than him.
Probably. Yeah.
Right?
Probably. Unless it's
I don't think Kirill's benching like that or Spoda's benching like that.
no.
You know?
Yeah.
So people like number 2 is still the best. And people just don't even know. Like, you can learn so much about how they train, how they live, how they lord. There goes my rant. My
There you
old
go.
guy rant.
This one is obviously another one of those from the outside looking in. What term refers to the lifter's body position when they complete a lift? That's lockout, obviously. This is more of an open question. I think I know the answer to this question. Which organization was originally responsible for writing powerlifting rules before the creation of the IPF?
If I had to guess, I would say AAU.
Yeah, I believe it's the
But
AAU.
that's just my American history.
They have the AAU, the IWF, and
Maybe.
and
But Wobdle's push-pull, isn't it?
push pull. Yep.
There used to be
it's definitely not
federation that
Wobble.
only did push-pull. That was very popular, too.
It was very
Deadlift
very
only,
popular.
bench only, or push-pull was, like, very popular.
Yeah.
Powerlifting used to, not as popular as doing all 3, but powerlifting for a long time, very long time, was almost more like track and field. Where, like, yeah, you could run the 100 and 400, but some guys just ran the 400.
Yeah, just bench or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't unheard of. And now it's, like, almost unheard of.
Yeah.
What's the weight of a standard barbell used in men's powerlifting competitions?
And women's. 20.
And women's. It's 20, yeah, obviously.
Trying to trick question us again.
I don't know. This is another outside looking in question. I thought the answers were funny. What is the term used when
Yeah.
the powerlifter drops from a higher weight class to a lower weight class?
Transitioning. For sure.
I like transitioning. Calibrating, cutting, or transitioning.
Calibrating could work.
Calibrating makes sense
Yeah,
in
at
some
least
ways.
At least it works. Transitioning on it. I mean, you could say, I'm transitioning out of the weight class, meaning you're bulking, but that's more like a year plan.
Yeah,
But
right.
the transitioning in modern day terms is just a little skewed towards a certain procedure.
Yeah, that's a little, yeah. What is a common injury among powerlifters due to the high intensity nature of the sport? Herniated
Broken
disc,
finger.
broken finger,
I mean,
or
all of
sprained
them?
ankle. Like all of them, but probably herniated disc.
Yeah, but I don't even know if there's like data on that.
I don't know that there is either. Yeah, herniated disc is the
Yeah.
answer. Which type of grip is most commonly used while performing a deadlift in
That's a
powerlifting?
trick question too.
That is kind of a trick question.
Because modern day, it might be like 50-50.
Like,
It might be
Yeah,
hook
hook
grip
grip.
versus mixed grip.
But I bet you their answer is mixed grip.
I'm assuming their answer is mixed grip.
Because
yeah.
again, back in my day,
yeah,
hook grip was very weightlifter.
Yeah, mixed grip.
Yeah.
is what's-
Very few folks hook gripped.
What component is responsible for allowing lifters to return the barbell to the ground? This question is written wrong. I feel like it was.
That's a trick question too. The barbell doesn't go to the ground after a bench press.
I know exactly, and I don't think that
These guys are getting all right. This is like the DMV test.
I feel like it was translated from another language or something.
Oh,
'cause
likely.
Yeah, because it should be
Spotters?
dead. It's spotters. Yes, it's the answer, I believe. Yeah, spotters, but it should not
Yeah.
be. Should not be the ground. It should be the rack.
That's like some of the old like Russian program transcripts were like just done janky, and so like bench press would be like leg press with arm, you know,
Yeah.
like squat with arm, squat with individual arm for like dumbbells and shit.
How many times have you watched a video of John Dorsey Goob like pick a barbell up off the ground to then bench press it?
Yeah, throw it on his belly, and
Yeah.
there's a name for that too, because like the squat that was like a thing.
Silly is the name I give that.
yeah,
but
I'm out. Yeah, the squat was like the old school thing because they didn't have it's called something with a K or a C, because they didn't have squat racks.
yeah.
Right, so you have to deadlift up one
Yeah.
side. Yep. Do a little side bend. But
Yeah.
yeah, the bench one when the rack's right there.
Well, rack's right
yeah, I'm not
there,
trying to break
folks.
my sternums.
Rack's right there. Which country has the highest number of powerlifting records?
See, that's hard too, right? Because like what fed, how, what sport? I would say the U.S. Right?
I believe the answer is the
It's
US.
definitely not the Ukraine.
No,
Apologies.
or Russia.
Maybe Russia.
It could be Russia,
but I imagine the U.S.
it's
Yeah.
the United States.
Isn't that crazy? Like we really are the hub for the sport.
Yeah.
I think it was invented-ish here, right?
Yeah. Competition, how many attempts does a lifter have for each lift? Obviously, that's 3. Which of these lifts is typically performed first in a powerlifting competition?
I don't
Obviously,
know
the
about
squat.
typically. I think always.
I think that's always, yeah. What substances commonly applied to lifters' hands? This is another one of those from the outside. Vaseline being one of the choices. Obviously,
Jiu-jitsu.
Powder on there.
Jiu-jitsu, they be Vaselined up.
Yeah. Obviously, it's chalk, but
Bunch of cheaters.
what is the name of the technique often used by powerlifters during the bench press to reduce the range of motion and increase the amount of weight
That's a
lifted?
decent question.
It's arching, bouncing, or power grip. Well,
Is power grip a real thing?
I have no idea.
I heard about some. What do you think, it's sicko?
Power gripping.
Yeah. You want your girlfriend out of that power grip. That's all I've heard.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
Kung
the
Fu
Gripper
grip.
9000.
Kung Fu grip. Obviously, the
Yeah.
answer is arching.
Sickos. Sicko-ass power lifters.
This is a tough one. In which decade was the first women's powerlifting competition held?
If I had to guess, I'd say the 80s. If I had to, but maybe the
60s,
70s.
70s, and 80s are the choices.
70s.
70s.
Equality.
So same.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Who is considered the father of modern powerlifting and a pioneer popularizing the sport? The answers: Bill Kazmaier, Ed Cohn, or Bob Hoffman.
I am going to go on a limb. Bill Kazmaier, to me, is kind of the father of strongman in a lot of senses.
Yeah, but not powerlifting.
Ed Cohn, it would be the greatest, or because you'd never say Michael Jordan was the
He didn't invent basketball.
right. A lot of people give it to Jerry West or Bill Russell, the older cats.
Yeah.
I don't know who Bob Hoffman is, so I'm going to vote him.
Me either.
I'm voting him though.
And the answer is Bob Hoffman.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to follow on at some point.
Yeah,
to
you would
figure
think
out
like Anderson or somebody would be the powerlifting guy, because like he kind of invented the squat, but not really, but kind of.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. Bill Kazmaier is a freak. If you guys don't know your history, check out Bill Kazmaier.
Which of the following cues is often used to describe the proper technique for initiating a deadlift? Like push the earth away, pull the barbell
This has
up,
to be like
or
Russian. Or
swing the hips forward. Like none of those.
I have said like push the ground away from your
push the ground away.
But that's like the Chuck Norris joke. You hear the Chuck Norris joke? Like Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He does like push the earth away or something.
That sounds familiar. We're gonna go. It is push the earth
Chuck
away.
Norris did. You seen his like?
Push
He's
the
making
earth
a
away.
social media comeback. He was
Chuck
like,
Norris?
yeah, he's like curling like 3 fake plates or something naked. He's jacked as fuck still, but like,
I think he sleeps in formaldehyde just to make
Yeah.
sure that he's preserved.
big Chuck.
What is the term used to describe a failed lift due to improper technique or the inability to complete the lift?
This one's a trick question too. All 3.
Those are no lift, red light, or failure.
All 3, right?
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
3. The answer is going to be no lift, but that's just in.
It's also failed lift.
It doesn't say. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you'd still say failed lift, and you'd still say, I guess
Yeah.
you would say 3 red lights rather
Yeah.
than 1 red light.
Yeah,
But
3 red
that's
lights.
tricky.
Or 2 red lights will do it.
This one I don't know.
What is the standard height of a regulation powerlifting bench?
I don't speak centimeters, but
think it's 45, but I don't know.
yeah, I got no clue. There you go.
45. I was right. What's another name for a sumo deadlift? Wide stance
It's
deadlift?
got to be wide stance, right?
Yeah.
Super deadlift.
Super is better
deadlift.
name, though.
Super deadlift.
It's a better name.
It is a better name.
Yeah.
Wide stance deadlift. Yes. Like that's I get annoyed when people call a wide stance squat a sumo squat.
Yeah, I don't like that either, to be honest.
But
don't know
I also don't like the back squat, front squat thing. Squat goes on your back unless
Yeah.
it's a front squat.
yeah, it
That's
is the default. The sumo squat doesn't make sense because you're not like changing anything. Where the sumo deadlift, your hands have to change position, your feet, like everything's changing. Like the whole technique's different. But a
where you
squat,
grip the bar, all that's
yeah, a
different.
squat's kind of the same. And if you're tall and long femored, you're just gonna have it a bit wider.
Yeah, or you're never going to get down. What type of shoes are recommended for powerlifting to provide stability and support during main lifts? A, running shoes. B, flat-soled shoes. C, high-top shoes. I'm curious as to what the answer is going to be here.
It's got to be flat sole, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be flat soles, but
There we go.
flat soled. But so many people in the past have worn Chucks.
Yeah,
High
true. Which
tops.
are like high top or shit. You call them a running shoe if you're born in the 70s.
Yeah.
You're running the same shit.
Yeah.
I mean, every tennis shoe, basketball shoe from the 70s is what you powerlift in.
Yeah.
Like a Stan Smith, that's 70s, 60s. That's a flat shoe. You could
Vans.
easily deadlift it. A Vans. I mean, I don't even know when Vans were made. 70s, I guess. I think it's even on the box. But like those had to be.
Yeah, I think it's 70s.
But is that even made for a skateboarding shoe?
The Vans?
Yeah. I mean, I know the culture is now,
Oh.
but was that shoe designed to skateboard in the
think
70s?
so.
I think it was.
I think so.
Because I feel like skateboarding was like very niche in the 70s. Like 80s it became
Yeah.
kinda, and then 90s it blew up. But clearly, yeah, Chuck Taylor, basketball shoe.
What's the other one? The Flyers. What was that one?
PF Flyers.
PF Flyers.
Yeah, the
yes.
Sandlot.
Yeah, those look
Sandlot.
cooler.
Yeah, those are great. Yeah, those same thing. Probably some kind of basketball-ish shoe in the 70s,
Yeah.
60s.
What is the role of the official who calls out commands to the lifter? during
Technical officer.
technical officer, head judge, technical officer, or chief referee?
Chief
I
referee would work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
either head judge or chief referee.
Because that's what I think they might call the head ref in basketball. They might call him a chief referee, and maybe even football. The one who stands behind the linebacker might be a chief referee.
And I think that technically they're not called judges in any of the
Yeah, people
any
say
of the
ref,
rules.
right?
I think they're all referees.
Yeah,
They are.
for skateboarding in the 70s.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Chief referee is the correct answer.
Their main thing, their main slogan is off the wall,
yeah.
which is what they would say when they're inside a pool doing tricks and stuff like that.
Because the silhouette of it's a Stan Smith. Like it's all
Yeah.
the same shit.
It's just like a normal shoe.
yeah,
Yeah.
all tennis shoes,
Yeah.
all Adidas All Stars,
Yeah.
like the shell toed.
yeah.
That's similar era probably for tennis.
I think they just gave it more reinforcement, just
Oh.
so your shoe wouldn't
Yeah, yeah,
get
yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah,
as
and
much.
California vibes and colors.
What is the number one reason a lifter may get disqualified from a powerlifting competition?
Okay, now we're getting into semantics because I would say disqualified, probably unsportsmanlike conduct,
I would think that too. Yeah.
right? But is a bombing out?
Failing to make weight means you just
Oh.
usually compete in
Yeah,
a different.
But that could be technically a DQ.
Could
And then
be.
also, if you bomb out on squats, I guess you're not DQ'd, but you're eliminated from competition, right? So now we're into semantics.
So
I don't know.
I think it's got to be unsportsmanlike contact, but we'll see. Yep.
Interesting. Which is rare too, right?
Which is pretty rare. Yeah.
They'll give you a warning if you drop an F-bomb on platform or something.
Yeah. This is the final question. What is the common term used to describe the point in a squat where the hips are below the top of the knees?
All those work, but yeah, I would say below parallel.
Below parallel is what I would say as well. Full squat and
Yeah.
deep squat being the other options.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh wait! Oh my God! There's more questions. It's below parallel.
Yeah, I mean full squat opposed to a half squat, but
I thought that was the last question, but it's not. What equipment is mandatory for a powerlifter to wear during competition?
headband, compression shorts.
Weightlifting gloves, compression shorts, headband.
Yes.
Got to be singlet, t-shirt, and shades.
It pretty much has to be that. Yes. What is the purpose of wearing knee wraps? Or
Even though many feds, you don't got to wear a shirt for deadlifts.
Yeah,
I think even
true.
the IPF, ladies and men. Yeah, talk about equality. I think that rule just broke 3 years ago, where
Oh, that-
ladies had to wear a t-shirt to
but
deadlift.
men could not.
Men could take it off for a
Yeah.
long time, but that I think is now equal. And then tons of feds besides squat. Even some feds you can fucking go singlet only. They don't give a fuck. All the reckless ones.
This is an interesting semantic one too. What is the purpose of wearing knee sleeves or knee wraps during powerlifting? And the three options are to provide compression and support the knees, to help lift more weight, to increase stability and balance.
D.
All of the above.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I would say too. They
Interesting.
say provide compression support to the knees, but I mean, sleeves don't provide a hell of a lot of compression.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean all of it. But it says sleeves and wraps.
Yeah.
right? Yeah. That's whatever. It's got to be a translation deal.
This is another from the outside in, kind of in order to it to be considered a good lift in competition. How many of the three judges must give a white light? The answer is 2. Don't need to look that one up.
Oh.
And this is-
Powerlifting pros team.
yes, we're definitely pros. Unbelievable. We're a true master of sports trivia. Our knowledge knows no bounds.
I
All
would like
think
to take one of those tests because, in Eastern Bloc countries, they have like masters or PhDs or even degrees, like a bachelor's in sports expert or something they call you. So basically, when you get to like a certain strength level and knowledge level as like a trainer, they would call you like a sports specialist, or like a sports pro.
So when I was looking at this up, I actually stumbled on a sample IPF referees test.
Yeah.
But it did not provide the answers. And so I felt as though it would be frustrating for us to actually talk about. Because, and there would be things, because we're not like super well versed in IPF rules.
Yeah, not in the little shits.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of little shits. Like, same with, like, I'm a good driver, but I don't even know if I could pass a full driving test right now, right? Because there's, like, 30 feet before your signal's out, or is it 10 feet, or I don't fucking know. How much, can you... How much before you brake and blinker, and I don't know any of that. I would like to, like, take an IPF test to see. I hate taking tests. I freak out. But the other one is like a CSCS.
Yeah.
And see how it actually do. But you can't get one without a degree, which is still so backwards.
Yeah.
You can go get a fucking degree in gardening and then go get your CSCS.
Yeah. You can become a world-renowned chef and never go to cooking school, let alone college.
Yeah. Or any fucking job anywhere, really.
Yeah.
You could become the best tech guy in the world, the best anything, and not a degree. But I can't fucking become a strength coach.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's all I got today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. New episodes every single week. Tune in. 3rd Street Barbell, Sacramento, California. I'm Solid Mike. Where you want to find me?
I am at the Jim McD on all the social media. This show is 50% Facts. Well, percent is a word and 50 is just numbers. 50% Facts is a Spreaker Prime podcast in association with iHeartMedia on the Obscure Celebrity Network. And we'll talk to you next time.